The emergency alarm screamed through the ship like an angry beast. Red lights flashed on and off, painting the walls in bloody color. Park woke up so fast that he fell out of his sleeping pod and hit the cold metal floor hard. "What the hell?" he said, his voice rough from sleep. The ship's computer spoke in its calm female voice. "Warning. Unauthorized life form detected in Cargo Bay 3. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." His heart began to pound. He was alone on the Wandering Petal, a cargo ship that he had owned for 7 years. He was 3 weeks into a delivery run through the Outer Rim, the most empty and lonely part of space. Out here, there were no space stations, no military patrols, no help if something went wrong. And now something had gone very wrong. He grabbed his plasma pistol from under his pillow and checked the power cell. Full charge. Good. He pulled on his boots without tying them and moved toward the door. The hallway outside was dark except for the flashing red emergency lights. Shadows jumped and danced on the walls like ghosts. Had been a soldier once, 6 years in the Republic Navy before he got tired of taking orders from people who had never seen real combat. His body still remembered the training. Move quiet, stay low, check your corners, trust nothing. The cargo bay was at the back of the ship, past the engine room and the life support systems. Moved through the narrow corridors with his pistol raised. His breath sounded too loud in his ears. Every creak of the ship made him jump. "Computer," he whispered, "what kind of life form?" "Unknown species, small biological mass, approximately 15 kilograms, no weapons detected." 15 kilograms, that was small, very small, maybe the size of a dog or a young child. Felt some of the tension leave his shoulders, but he did not lower his weapon. In space, even small things could kill you. He reached the cargo bay door and pressed his back against the wall. Through the small window in the door, he could see the bay inside. It was filled with shipping containers stacked 3 high, holding machine parts and medical supplies bound for a mining colony. The lights in the bay were dim, set to power-saving mode. At first saw nothing unusual. Then he noticed movement between 2 containers near the back. Something small and pale was huddled in the shadows. He took a deep breath and opened the door. The cargo bay was cold. Could see his breath forming small clouds in the air. He moved forward slowly, his pistol aimed at the spot where he had seen the movement. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. "Come out," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "I know you are there. Come out slowly with your hands up." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then heard a sound that made him stop walking. It was a small, broken sound. A sound of fear and pain and sadness all mixed together. It was the sound of crying. Moved around the last container and saw the intruder for the first time. It was a child. At least it looked like a child. The creature had pale blue skin that seemed to glow slightly in the dim light. It had 4 eyes, 2 large ones in the normal place and 2 smaller ones above them, and all 4 eyes were filled with tears. Its body was thin and shaking. It wore torn clothing that might once have been white but was now dirty and stained. In its small hands, it clutched a device that recognized immediately. An emergency beacon. The kind that ships launched when they were in serious trouble. The kind that screamed for help across the empty void of space. The creature looked up at and made that crying sound again. Then it spoke, and its voice was the most pitiful thing had ever heard. "Please," it said in broken galactic common, the language that most species use to talk to each other. "Please, help, they took my family." Stood frozen. His pistol was still raised, still pointed at this small, crying creature. He had been ready for pirates. He had been ready for stowaways trying to steal his cargo. He had been ready for dangerous alien predators that had somehow gotten onto his ship. He had not been ready for this. "Computer," he said slowly, "turn on the lights, full power." The lights came on and got a better look at the creature. It was even smaller than he had thought. Its blue skin was covered in small scratches and bruises. Its 4 eyes were red from crying. It looked like it had not eaten in days. Lowered his pistol. "What is your name?" he asked, speaking slowly and clearly. "Riel," the creature said. "My name is Riel. Please, please help." Put his pistol back in its holster and knelt down so that he was at Riel's eye level. The creature flinched at first, then seemed to realize that was not going to hurt it. "Okay," Riel said. "I am not going to hurt you. My name is I am the captain of this ship. Can you tell me what happened? How did you get here?" Riel's 4 eyes filled with fresh tears. "Bad ones came, big ones with scales and sharp teeth. They attacked our ship. Mama and Papa put me in escape pod, said to run, said to find help." The creature held up the emergency beacon. "Pod broke. I floated for long time, then your ship came close and I climbed inside." Felt his chest tighten. He had heard stories about slavers in the Outer Rim, criminal groups that attacked peaceful ships, killed anyone who fought back, and sold the survivors to whoever would pay. It was one of the ugliest parts of space travel, and the Galactic Authority never seemed to do anything about it. "How long ago?" he asked. "How long ago did they take your family?" Riel looked confused. "I do not know. 2 days, 3 days. I was in the dark for so long." 2 or 3 days. In space terms, that was both forever and no time at all. The slavers could be anywhere by now, or they could still be nearby, sorting through their cargo of stolen people. Stood up and ran his hand through his hair. This was not his problem. He was a cargo runner, not a hero. He had deliveries to make. He had bills to pay. The smart thing to do was to contact the Galactic Authority, hand Riel over to them, and continue on his way. But as he looked down at the small, shaking creature, he knew that he was not going to do the smart thing. "Are you hungry?" he asked. Riel nodded, and for the first time, something like hope appeared in those 4 wet eyes. "Come with me," said. "Let us get you some food, and then you are going to tell me everything about the ship that attacked your family, everything you can remember." He held out his hand. Riel looked at it for a moment, then reached out with a small blue hand and took it. The creature's skin was cool and smooth, like touching a leaf. As led Riel out of the cargo bay, the ship's computer spoke again. "Captain, shall I cancel the intruder alert?" Looked down at Riel, who was still holding his hand tightly. "Yes," he said, "cancel the alert, and start scanning for any ships within 3 days' travel distance. I want to know everything about what is out there." "Understood, Captain. May I ask why?" Did not answer. He just kept walking, leading the small alien child toward the kitchen, his mind already racing with plans that he knew were crazy. Riel looked up at him with those 4 big eyes. "You will help?" the creature asked, voice small and afraid. "You will help find my family?" Squeezed the small hand gently. "I will try," he said. "I promise you, kid, I will try." Riel ate like someone who had forgotten what food tasted like, sat across from the small creature at the tiny kitchen table, and watched as Riel pushed ration bars into that small mouth as fast as possible. The creature did not even chew properly. It just swallowed and reached for more. "Slow down," said gently. "You will make yourself sick. The food is not going anywhere." Riel paused and looked at with those 4 big eyes. Then the creature nodded and started eating more slowly, poured a glass of water and pushed it across the table. Riel grabbed it with both hands and drank until the glass was empty. "More?" asked. "Please." As refilled the glass, he studied the small alien. Now that Riel was in proper light and not shaking so badly, could see more details. The pale blue skin had small patterns on it, like the veins on a leaf. The 4 eyes blinked at different times, which was a little strange to watch. Riel's hands had 4 fingers each, longer and thinner than human fingers. "What are you?" asked. "I mean, what species? I have traveled through many parts of space, but I have never met anyone who looks like you." Riel swallowed another bite of food. My people come from a planet called Prime. It is very far from here, very far from everywhere. Searched his memory. He had read about them once in a xenobiology database during his Navy days. A peaceful species, plant eaters. No military, no weapons, no history of violence. They were known for their art and their music and their kindness. They were also known for being easy targets. Tell me about the attack, said. Tell me everything you remember. Riel's 4 eyes filled with tears again, but the creature took a deep breath and began to speak. We were on a colony ship, 300 of my people traveling to start a new home on a planet called Green Haven. It was supposed to be safe. The route was supposed to be safe. Riel's voice cracked. But then they came. Who came? The scaled ones, big and tall, with red eyes and teeth like knives. They came out of nowhere. Their ship was so much bigger than ours. They fired weapons at us. Our ship could not fight back because we had no weapons. We had nothing. Nodded slowly. He knew what species Riel was describing. 8 feet tall, covered in dark scales, born and raised for violence. Many of them worked as mercenaries and slavers because those were the jobs that paid the best and let them hurt people legally. What happened next? He asked. They boarded our ship. They started taking people. Anyone who tried to stop them, Riel stopped and covered those 4 eyes with small blue hands. They killed them. They killed Elder. They killed my friend's father. They killed anyone who said no. Felt anger building in his chest like a fire. He had seen evil things during his time in the Navy. He had seen battles and death and cruelty. But there was something about hurting peaceful people, about attacking those who could not fight back, that made his blood boil. How did you escape? He asked. Mama and Papa, they hid me in an escape pod with some other cubs. Mama said to be brave. Papa said to find help. Fresh tears rolled down Riel's blue cheeks. The pod launched, but something went wrong. The other cubs' pods went one way and mine went another. Then my pod stopped working. I was floating in the dark for so long, I thought I was going to die. But you did not die, said. You made it to my ship. Riel nodded. I saw your ship through the window. I used my emergency suit to float over. I found a hole in your ship where air was coming out and I climbed inside. I am sorry. I know I was not supposed to, but I was so scared and so hungry. You did the right thing, said. You survived, that is what matters. He stood up and walked to the communication console on the wall. He pressed a button, and after a moment, a familiar voice came through the speaker. Wandering Petal, this is Morning Bell. What is going on over there? My sensors picked up your intruder alert. The voice belonged to his oldest friend and the captain of a sister cargo ship that was traveling the same route about 6 hours behind him. They had been partners for 5 years, watching each other's backs in the dangerous parts of space. I have a situation, said. I found a stowaway, a cub. Her family was taken by slavers. There was a long pause. Slavers out here. From what she describes, they hit a colony ship, 300 people. Another pause, longer this time. When spoke again, her voice was careful. I know that tone in your voice. I know what you are thinking. Do not do it. Do not do what? Do not try to be a hero. This is not our fight. We are cargo runners, not soldiers, not anymore. Looked over at Riel, who was watching him with those 4 eyes full of desperate hope. The creature understood enough of the conversation to know that was talking about helping. They have children on that ship, families, innocent people who never hurt anyone. And what are you going to do about it? Attack a slaver ship with your one tiny pulse cannon. They will blow you out of the sky before you can even say hello. So I should just do nothing. Just hand this kid over to the Galactic Authority and forget about her family. Yes, said firmly. That is exactly what you should do. Contact the authority, file a report, let them handle it. That is how these things work. And how long will that take? How long until the authority actually does something? Silence. knew the answer as well as did. The Galactic Authority was big and slow and did not care much about what happened in the Outer Rim. By the time they sent a ship to investigate, the slavers would be long gone, and all those would be sold to the highest bidder. "Please," Riel said suddenly, the small voice cutting through the silence. "Please help my mama and papa. I will do anything. I will give you anything. Just please help them." Heard sigh through the speaker. "Is that the kid?" "Yes." "Damn it, you know I cannot say no when there are kids involved." "I know, that is why I called you." Another sigh. "Fine, what is your plan, because I know you. You already have a plan, do you not?" Smiled for the first time since the alarm had woken him up. "Not yet, but I am working on it. I need you to change course and meet up with me, and I need you to help me make some calls." "Calls to who?" "Everyone who owes us favors. Everyone who might be crazy enough to help." "That is not a very long list." "It is long enough. Will you help me?" There was a pause and then laughed. It was a tired laugh, but also a warm one. "You are going to get us both killed one day, Park. You know that, right?" "Probably, but not today." "Fine, I am changing course now. I will be there in 5 hours. Do not do anything stupid until I arrive." "I will try." The communication ended. Turned back to Riel, who was staring at him with wide eyes. "You will help?" the creature asked. "You will really help?" Knelt down so that he was at Riel's eye level. "I cannot promise anything," he said honestly. "The people who took your family are very dangerous. I am just one person with one small ship. The chances of success are not good." Riel's eyes began to fill with tears again. But continued, "I am going to try. I am going to do everything I can to find your family and bring them back. Okay?" Riel threw small blue arms around his neck and hugged him tightly. The creature was shaking again, but this time it felt different. This time it felt like hope. "Thank you," Riel whispered. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Hugged the small alien back and stared at the wall, already thinking about the impossible task ahead. "Do not thank me yet, kid," he said quietly. "We have a long way to go." 5 hours later, the morning bell dropped out of hyperspace and pulled up next to the wandering pedal. Watched through his cockpit window as the other ship came closer. The morning bell was slightly larger than his ship, with better shields and a faster engine, but it was still just a cargo ship. It was not built for fighting. None of their ships were built for fighting. That was the problem. His face appeared on his communication screen. She was a tall woman with sharp eyes and short black hair that she always kept practical. She had been in the Navy even longer than, and she had left for the same reasons. Too much politics, not enough action. "Okay," she said without greeting. "I am here. Now show me this alien cub you found." Turned his screen so that could see Riel, who was sitting in the co-pilot chair wrapped in a warm blanket. The small waved shyly. His expression softened for just a moment. "Hello, little one. What is your name?" "Riel." "That is a pretty name." Looked back at. "All right, you win. She is adorable. Now tell me your crazy plan." "I do not have a full plan yet," admitted. "But I have been making calls. I reached out to everyone I could think of." "And is in. He says he owes me for that reactor incident 3 years ago." Raised her eyebrows. "The salvage guy, he is not exactly a fighter." "No, but he has equipment. Lots of equipment. Metal debris, sensor jammers, things that could confuse enemy scanners. He is 2 systems away and already heading toward us." "Okay, who else?" Now looked impressed. "The combat medic, I thought she retired." "She did, but she is between jobs right now, and she said she was getting bored." Smiled slightly. "She also said that anyone who hurts children deserves what they get." "I like her already. Anyone else?" "I am still waiting to hear back from a few people. But even if it is just the 4 of us, I think we can do something." Shook her head slowly. 4 people against a slaver ship. Do you know how crazy that sounds?" I know. Their ships carry crews of at least 40, professional killers, trained soldiers. They have weapons that could cut through our shields like paper. I know. And you still want to do this. Looked at Riel, who was watching the conversation with those four big eyes. The small creature did not understand all the words, but understood enough to know that the adults were talking about something dangerous. Her family is on that ship, said quietly. Her mother and father, her friends and neighbors, 300 people who have never hurt anyone in their lives. If we do not help them, no one will. Was silent for a long moment. Then she sighed and rubbed her eyes. You know, I had a good thing going. Safe cargo runs, steady pay, a nice quiet life. Then you had to go and find a crying alien kid. Is that a yes? That is a yes, you idiot. But we need a real plan, not just hope and good intentions. Grinned, that is why I have you. You were always the smart one. Over the next several hours, they worked on the plan. Arrived first, his big salvage ship looking like a flying junkyard. He was a large man with a loud laugh and hands that were always covered in engine grease. He hugged hard enough to lift him off the ground. Brother, said happily, it has been too long, and you want me to help you attack slavers. This is the best day I have had in months. Arrived next. She was small and quiet, with gray hair and calm eyes that had seen too much death. She did not hug anyone, but she looked at Riel for a long time and then nodded. I am in, she said simply. Tell me what you need me to do. They gathered in the Wandering Petal's small meeting room, 4 humans sitting around a table with star maps spread out in front of them. Riel sat in the corner, watching and listening. Okay, said, taking charge. Here is what we know. The slaver ship is probably a converted military cruiser called the Crimson Fang. It is registered to a mercenary group that operates in this sector. Based on the direction of Riel's escape pod, they are most likely heading toward the black market, which is about 4 days from here. So we have time to catch up, said. Barely. If we push our engines hard, we can intercept them in about 3 days. Pulled up an image of a ship on her. But here is the problem. This thing is a monster. Heavy armor, military-grade weapons, a crew of at least 40. We cannot beat them in a straight fight. So we do not fight straight, said. We fight smart. What did you have in mind? Stood up and pointed at the image. Are strong and well-armed, but they are also arrogant. They do not think anyone would be stupid enough to attack them. That is their weakness. Our stupidity is their weakness, laughed. I love it. Here is what I am thinking. You release your debris cloud first. All that junk you have been collecting, the old hull plates, the broken satellites, everything. Make it impossible for them to see clearly. Nodded, I can do that. It will mess up their sensors for at least 10 or 15 minutes. Good, while they are blind, takes the morning bell and makes attack runs on their ship. Do not try to actually hurt them, just get their attention. Make them think you are the main threat. Frowned, that sounds like I am going to be a target. You will be, but you are the best pilot here. You can dodge their fire long enough for me to do what I need to do. Which is what? I take the Wandering Petal and slip underneath their ship while they are focused on you. I dock with one of their auxiliary airlocks and then I board the ship. The room went quiet. Everyone stared at. Board the ship, repeated slowly. Just the 2 of us. Yes. Against 40. We will not fight all of them. We find the prisoners, free them, and get out, quick and quiet. Shook her head. That is insane. That is the most insane thing I have ever heard. You will be killed in 5 minutes. Maybe, but I have seen the inside of ships like this before. The prisoners will be in the cargo hold at the back of the ship. They will be at the front, trying to deal with you and the debris cloud. If we are fast and lucky, we can get in and out before they even know we are there. And if you are not fast and lucky, shrugged, then I guess I will die fighting. There are worse ways to go. The room was silent again. Riel stood up from the corner and walked over to the table. The small looked at each of the humans in turn. "You are doing this for my family," Riel said quietly. "You could die. Why, we are strangers, you do not know us." Looked at the others, then back at Riel. "Because it is the right thing to do," he said. "Because your family deserves to be free. Because someone has to stand up to the bad ones, or they just keep hurting people forever." Riel's 4 eyes filled with tears. "Humans are strange." Laughed. "You have no idea, little one. We are the craziest species in the galaxy." Stood up and checked her medical bag. "Enough talking. When do we leave?" Smiled. "Now, we leave now." As they walked to their ships, Grab's arm and pulled him aside. "Are you sure about this?" she asked quietly. "Really sure?" Looked at Riel, who was watching from the doorway. "No," he admitted, "but I am going to do it anyway." Sighed and punched him lightly on the shoulder. "Then let us go save some aliens, you crazy bastard." 3 days later, they found the Crimson Fang. The slaver ship was exactly as ugly as had expected. It was a massive thing, dark and covered in weapons, floating through space like a hungry predator. Compared to it, the 3 human ships looked like toys. Small, weak, and completely harmless. That was what was counting on. "All right," his voice came through the communication system. "I am reading 43 life signs on the slaver ship, plus approximately 150 in what looks like the cargo hold." "The prisoners," said from beside. She had moved to the wandering pedal for the boarding operation, her medical bag packed with supplies and her old Navy pistol strapped to her hip. "They are still alive," Riel said from the back of the cockpit, voice trembling with hope. "My family is still alive." "Looks like it, but we need to move fast," took a deep breath. "Okay, everyone ready?" "Ready," said. "Ready," said. "Then let us do this crazy thing. Start the show." Salvage ship moved forward and opened its cargo doors. Out poured a massive cloud of debris. Old hull plates, broken satellite parts, twisted metal beams, thousands of pieces of junk that had collected over years of salvage work. The cloud spread out in front of the Crimson Fang like a fog made of metal. Almost immediately, the slaver ship's communication system crackled to life. "Unidentified vessels, this is the Crimson Fang. You are interfering with official business. Leave this area immediately or you will be destroyed." Laughed through the comm system. "Official business? Is that what you call kidnapping innocent people, selling them like property?" There was a pause, then a different voice came through, deeper and angrier. "Who the hell are you?" "Just some humans passing through. We thought we would say hello." "Humans?" The captain sounded amused now. 3 human garbage ships want to fight us. This is a joke." "Maybe, but jokes can still bite." The morning bell shot forward into the debris cloud, its small weapons firing at the Crimson Fang. The shots were weak, barely scratching the slaver ship's heavy armor, but that was not the point. The point was to make noise. The point was to be annoying. The point was to make the look the wrong way. "All weapons target that ship," the captain screamed. "Blow them out of the sky." The Crimson Fang's guns began to fire, huge blasts of energy that lit up the debris cloud like lightning in a storm. But was good. She was very good. The morning bell danced and dodged, slipping between pieces of debris, using the metal fog as cover. Meanwhile, piloted the wandering pedal underneath the battle. With all the debris messing up their sensors and all their attention on, they did not notice the small cargo ship sliding toward their belly like a shadow. "I see the auxiliary airlock," said, pointing at her screen. 30 meters ahead." "I see it." Hands moved across the controls, docking in 60 seconds. The wandering pedal kissed the bottom of the Crimson Fang with barely a sound. The docking clamps locked into place. The airlock hissed as it pressurized. "We are in," said quietly. "Riel, stay here. Lock the door behind us and do not open it for anyone except me or—" Riel nodded, four eyes wide with fear. "Please bring back my mama and papa." "I will try, kid, I promise." And moved into the slaver ship. The corridors were dark and smelled like rust and fear. Red emergency lights flickered on the walls. Somewhere above them, they could hear the shouting and running, all focused on the battle outside. "Cargo hold is this way," whispered, checking her, "2 levels down." They moved fast and quiet, staying in the shadows. Twice they had to hide as soldiers ran past, but the lizard-like aliens were too focused on the fight to notice two small humans pressed against the walls. The cargo hold was guarded by two big ones, even by standards, carrying heavy rifles. They looked bored and annoyed, probably angry that they were stuck guarding prisoners while their friends got to fight. Looked at, she looked back at him. They did not need words. After 6 years in the Navy together, they could communicate with just their eyes. Counted down on his fingers, 3, 2, 1. They moved at the same time. Hit the first guard with a stun grenade, the flash of light and sound sending the stumbling backward. Before the alien could recover, was on him, slamming his pistol into the soft spot under this jaw. The guard dropped. Was even faster. She ducked under the second guard's rifle swing and drove her knife into the gap between his armor plates. They made a gurgling sound and fell. "Clear," said calmly, wiping her blade. "Open the cargo hold door." The smell hit him first. Too many bodies in too small a space with not enough food or water or fresh air. Then he saw them. Over 100 crowded together in cages like animals. Small ones and big ones, old ones and young ones, all of them looking at him with wide, frightened eyes. "It is okay," said, holding up his hands. "I am here to help. I am here to get you out." For a moment, no one moved. Then a female pushed her way to the front of one of the cages. She had the same blue skin and 4 eyes as Riel, but older, with worry lines on her face. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice shaking. "My name is Park. I am a human. Your daughter found my ship." The female's eyes went wide. "Riel, my Riel is alive. She is alive and safe on my ship. She asked me to come save you." The female started to cry. Others joined her, some crying with relief, others still too shocked to believe what was happening. Did not have time for emotions. "Start opening these cages. Everyone, listen to me. We do not have much time. Follow me and do exactly what I say. Stay quiet, stay together, stay calm." Worked fast, breaking locks and opening cage doors. They poured out, stretching their tired limbs, holding each other, whispering thanks to the 2 humans who had come to save them. "How many?" asked. 147, counted. "They are all here." "Good, let us move." They led them through the corridors, a long line of blue-skinned aliens following 2 small humans through an enemy ship. It was slow and terrifying, every corner a chance for disaster. They were halfway to the airlock when the alarm started. "Intruders detected in Sector 7. All hands to Sector 7. "They know we are here," said grimly. "We need to run." Grabbed his communicator. "We have the prisoners, but we have been spotted." "Understood. I am increasing fire on their bridge. Get to the airlock now." They ran. They were weak and tired, but fear gave them energy. They ran through the dark corridors as soldiers started appearing behind them, firing weapons that burned holes in the walls. Turned and fired back, his shots dropping too. Did the same, her aim as perfect as it had been 20 years ago. "Keep moving," shouted at the "do not stop." They reached the airlock just as a group appeared at the other end of the corridor. Stepped in front of the fleeing prisoners and opened fire, giving time to get everyone through. "Come on," screamed. He fired 3 more times, then turned and ran. A shot hit him in the shoulder, burning through his jacket and into his flesh. He did not stop. He threw himself through the airlock just as slammed it shut. "Go, go, go," he shouted into his communicator. The wandering petal detached from the crimson fang and shot away into space. Inside the cargo hold, 147 held onto each other as the ship shook and rocked. Riel pushed through the crowd and found her mother, throwing small arms around her and crying so hard she could not speak. "It is okay, baby," Riel's mother whispered, holding her daughter tight. "It is okay. The humans saved us. The crazy, wonderful humans saved us." On the bridge of the Crimson Fang, the captain screamed with rage and ordered all weapons to fire on the fleeing human ships. But it was too late. The debris cloud blocked their targeting systems. By the time they could see clearly again, the humans and their rescued were already jumping to hyperspace. The Crimson Fang was left floating in space, damaged and humiliated, defeated by 3 cargo ships and 4 crazy humans who had decided to do the right thing. The Galactic Authority arrived 4 hours later. A massive cruiser dropped out of hyperspace, followed by 2 smaller patrol ships. They had received some emergency signal and come as fast as they could, which was not very fast at all. By the time they arrived, shoulder had been bandaged by, they had been given food and water, and the 3 human cargo ships were floating peacefully in open space, waiting. The authority officer who boarded the wandering petal was an alien named Commissioner. He was tall and thin, with large compound eyes and clicking mandibles that made strange sounds when he talked. He looked at the crowd of refugees, then at the 4 humans, then back at the... "Can someone please explain what happened here?" he asked. Stepped forward. His shoulder hurt badly, but he kept his face calm. "Slavers attacked a colony ship. They took 147 prisoners. We got them back." Blinked his compound eyes. "You got them back? How? You are cargo runners." "Yes." "You attacked a military cruiser with cargo ships." "Yes." "And you succeeded." Shrugged, then winced at the pain in his shoulder. "We got lucky." Was quiet for a long moment. His mandibles clicked softly as he processed this information. "The Crimson Fang is still in the area. Our sensors detected them fleeing toward the outer systems. They are damaged but still dangerous. We will pursue and bring them to justice." "Good," said. "Make sure you do." The commissioner looked at her, then back at. "You do understand that what you did was extremely illegal. Attacking another vessel, even a slaver vessel, without authority permission is a serious crime." "So is kidnapping people and selling them as slaves," replied calmly. "That is not the point. The law exists for a reason. You cannot simply decide to become vigilantes whenever you feel like it." Was about to respond when a small voice interrupted. "He saved my mama." Everyone turned to look at Riel, who had pushed through the crowd of. The small alien child walked up to Commissioner and stared up at him with those 4 big eyes. "He saved my mama and my papa and all my friends. He did not have to help us. He did not know us, but he did it anyway because he is good." Riel's voice was shaking but determined. "Are you going to punish him for being good?" Looked down at the small, his mandibles clicked again. Then he made a sound that might have been a sigh. "No," he said finally. "I suppose not. But please, in the future, contact the proper authorities before taking matters into your own hands." "We will try," said, "but sometimes the proper authorities are too slow." Did not argue with that. The authority ships took statements from everyone and began processing the rescued. Most of them would be transported back to their home world, where they could start healing from their terrible experience. A few chose to continue to Green Haven, still determined to build their new colony. Before they left, the elders gathered to speak with and his friends. "We do not know how to thank you," the oldest elder said. She was ancient and frail, with pale blue skin that had faded almost to white. "You risked everything for strangers. You saved our people when no one else would." "It was the right thing to do," said simply. "Perhaps, but many people see the right thing and do nothing. You saw the right thing and acted. That makes you special." The elder reached out and took hands in her thin, cool fingers. The people will never forget what you have done. If there is anything we can give you, anything you desire, name it and it is yours." Thought about it for a moment. He looked at. They all looked back at him with tired but satisfied expressions. "A full tank of fuel would be nice," he said, "and permission to keep making cargo runs through space." The elder looked surprised. "That is all. We could give you land, wealth, a position of honor among our people." "I do not need any of that. I am just a cargo runner. I like being a cargo runner. I just want to keep doing my job." "But why? You saved our people. You deserve a reward." Smiled softly. "I did not do it for a reward. I did it because a scared little kid asked me for help. That is all." The elder stared at him for a long time. Then she laughed, a gentle sound like wind through leaves. "Humans," she said, "we have heard stories about your species. Violent and aggressive, we were told, dangerous and unpredictable, but now I see the truth. You are something much more frightening." "What is that?" "You are kind. Genuinely, stubbornly, impossibly kind. And that kindness makes you capable of things that no other species would even attempt." She released his hands and bowed deeply. "Thank you, Park. Thank you for reminding us that good still exists in this cold universe." As they boarded the Authority ships, Riel came running up too. The small alien hugged him tightly around the waist, small arms squeezing hard. "Will I see you again?" Riel asked, looking up with those 4 eyes. Knelt down so they were face to face. "I am a cargo runner, kid. I am always passing through. Maybe our paths will cross again someday." "Promise?" "I cannot promise, but I can hope." Riel nodded solemnly. Then the small reached into a pocket and pulled out something small and shiny. It was a stone, blue like skin, polished smooth by years of handling. "This was my lucky stone," Riel said. "Mama gave it to me when I was very small. She said it would keep me safe, and it did. It helped me survive until I found you." The small alien pressed the stone into his palm. "Now I want you to have it, so it can keep you safe too." Looked at the stone, then at Riel. His eyes felt strangely wet. "Thank you, Riel. I will treasure it always." Riel hugged him one more time, then ran to join her parents on the Authority ship. As the ship lifted off and disappeared into the stars, stood and watched until it was completely gone. Walked up beside him. "That was a nice thing she did." "Yeah. You know we are completely broke now, right? That little adventure cost us 3 months of fuel credits." Looked at the small blue stone in his hand. He smiled. "Worth it." Laughed and punched him on his good shoulder. "Yeah, I suppose it was." They walked back to their ships together. Was already talking loudly about the adventure, making it sound even more exciting than it had been. Was checking her medical supplies, quiet and calm as always. As climbed into the cockpit of the wandering petal, his ship's computer spoke. "Captain, where would you like to go next?" Thought about it for a moment. There were deliveries to make, schedules to keep, bills to pay. The galaxy kept spinning whether you saved people or not. "Set a course for the Meridian Station," he said finally. "We have cargo to deliver." "Understood, Captain." Course plotted. As the wandering petal's engines powered up, leaned back in his chair and looked at the stars through his cockpit window. Somewhere out there, Riel was heading home with her family. Somewhere out there, the slavers were running from the Authority. And somewhere out there, stories were already spreading about the crazy humans who had risked everything to save strangers. It was not much, thought. In the grand scheme of the universe, it was barely a drop in an endless ocean. But it was something. It was proof that one person could make a difference, even against impossible odds. And maybe that was enough. The wandering petal jumped to hyperspace, and Park went back to being a cargo runner, carrying goods across the stars and waiting for the next time someone needed his help. Because that was what humans did. They helped, even when it was dangerous, even when it was stupid, even when everyone else said it was impossible. They helped anyway, and the galaxy was a little bit brighter because of it.